right into it with the first thing, which is this screen, right? So you open Final Cut. It says up here, nothing is loaded. It's completely gray. This can be one of the worst things that you come to when you open up Final Cut. So if this happens, don't worry. You don't have to panic just yet. What you want to look at is your area up here at the top left. This is called your browser, and this is where you browse or sort through your content, right? You have video clips, you might have music, sound effects, all kinds of stuff. The browser is where you want to start. And if the browser doesn't have a library open, then you're not going to see anything, because all of your clips, your music, your projects that you're editing, your videos, all of those, when you're talking about Final Cut Pro, are stored inside a library, inside of a Final Cut library. And the reason I'm really emphasizing the word library is you want to know the terminology and how Final Cut works to be able to recover when something like this happens. So if you open Final Cut and it's completely blank, what's the problem? Final Cut doesn't know what library to open. So there's a couple things you can do. You can either click this button that says Open Library, or you can go up to the File menu, down to Open Library. Notice how everything else is grayed out. It's kind of telling you where to go, right? Open Library, and then you're going to see here a list of recent libraries if you're lucky. If you're not, and you don't see any recent libraries here, you can go down and click on Other. Clicking Other is the same thing as clicking Open Library back here. So that's the first step. Just click an Open Library, and hopefully your library will be listed right here in the list of recent libraries. You'll notice on the right side, we have information for the library on the left, but on the right side it shows us the location of where those libraries are stored. So they may be stored on Macintosh HD, which is your internal hard drive, your internal storage drive to your Mac, which if you physically only have your laptop in front of you or your desktop and there's nothing connected to it, then it's probably going to be stored somewhere on Macintosh HD. However, if you do have an external hard drive, like I have an external drive that's called external storage, then it may be stored there, and that's what we see in this case. So great, I know I want to open up my stock library here, so I'm going to select that library and then hit choose to open it. You can see the path here of where that's stored. It's just directly stored on my external storage versus, say, my untitled project here is in my home folder inside of the movies folder. So if you don't see your library here, then what do you do? Well, the next step is to click on the locate button, and this is going to open up a Finder window, which you can use to navigate around your computer or your external storage, and you could try to find that library that you want to select and open. Okay, now that's great if you know where you saved your stuff. If you don't know where your library is stored, it's not showing up in the list, you can't find it, here's what you're going to want to do. Go down to your Finder, which should be on your dock at the bottom, unless you've moved it somewhere else. Click on the Finder, and that's going to open up a Finder window. Let me drag it over here. Here's our Finder window. And what you can do is hit Command F. Command F for Find, or you can go up to the File menu and hit Find. And in this search, notice it says kind is any. That means it's looking for anything, but we want to actually find our Final Cut libraries, right? So I'm going to hit kind is, and I'm going to change this to other, and then I'm going to type in Final Cut. And you'll notice as I start typing in Final Cut, it's finding all the Final Cut libraries. If I extend my kind here, notice Final Cut Pro library, it's finding all of those here in this list. And you could scroll down and find them. So if you see it here, you can just click on that library. You'll notice at the bottom it shows us the path of exactly where that is stored. So that's really nice, especially these ones. These are backups that have the date in here. I can click on it and see this really long path at the bottom to see where that backup is stored. So that's how you can search for a Final Cut library, and that's kind of a last resort to find it. If you still don't find it, that's where I recommend reaching out to me, Final Cut Pro, help@me.com with an email, or you can DM me on Instagram at Final Cut Pro Help. And this is pretty much all you have to do. You should find it from those steps unless you've actually gone in and deleted it. And if the library itself has been deleted and you maybe emptied the trash and it's completely gone, that's where you're going to want to go to your Time Machine backup and restore it from a backup drive. If you're not backing up your content, go do a search on here. I have a couple videos on backing up. You need to back up your content. That's super important because you're going to make a mistake. If you don't make a mistake, your computer's going to fail at some point. It's going to make a mistake. Something's going to happen at some point in your editing career, and data is going to get lost. It just happens to all of us. If you can start creating a backup now, then you will avoid some teary eyes later on when you find out your entire project's gone. So make a backup. That's the most important thing. But to summarize, if you open Final Cut and everything looks like it's gone, it's not the end of the world. You just need to search for that library. Now, if you do get that library open like we have here, and you go up into your browser and you're just trying to scroll through and notice how I can't, there's nothing in here, and you're still kind of scared, you're wondering, okay, I see the project down here, but I don't see any of my clips. It may just be how the browser is organized. Notice right now it's set to view just favorite clips. I can change this and I can go up and say, okay, I'm going to go back to hide the rejected, and boom, here's all my clips. They come right back. So that is what you do if you open Final Cut and you find out, oh no, everything's gone. Not the end of the world. Now at the bottom here, we're going to move on to our second question here, which is just how do you get something that you've edited onto a DVD? So I have this video at the bottom here. It's all edited, done. I like it. So I'm going to share it to a DVD. To do that, go up to the top right corner and hit